Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Bug's Life.
It's a
But
Bug's
dark.
Life.
It's a Bug's Life in Undertale.
I cannot believe that.
No.
It's Hollow Under
better.
Bug's Life.
Right, no, it's
Yeah.
a Bug's Life, the Undertale. That's better. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I cannot believe that Finding Nemo got a sequel, but not Bug's Life.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Bug's Life really performed as well as Finding Nemo did.
Well, not to
Really?
mention, it's like, what else can you really do with those characters?
Well, I haven't gone on a bigger adventure.
I was about to say, you make that argument, but to be fair, what else could you do with Finding Nemo?
Good.
Right.
Yeah, really not a whole lot. I mean,
I thought Finding Dory was fine, but I get the feeling people would debate me that hardcore.
no.
I wouldn't debate you
You're-
hardcore. I would just
you're
say
not-
that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you're not the only one. I didn't think it was spectacular. I thought it was like, it was fine.
It was.
It was
fun.
It was fine. That's
It
all
was
I can
fun
say
and it-
about it.
It was fun and it tried out some new things.
Oh, God.
But it just. Yeah, it's just this guy again. A lot of enemies in this game can be fought by jumping and slashing and dodging shockwaves.
But boy, howdy, does it suck when you actually get hit by them.
Oh, because again, if you get hit by these big guys, you will take two hits of damage, which is the max that things can hit you for.
So this is basically what Dante would be like if he was in the Mega Man game.
Kind of. I'm surprised they
You
never
know-
tried making a side-scrolling Devil May Cry game.
Yeah, like I'm sure it'd be possible.
Yeah, no, we were going down that spiky pit.
Actually,
if you touch
remind-
spikes, you immediately spawn back at the
Yeah,
entrance.
those aren't fun. Actually, it's funny you say that or well, whoever said I already lost track.
Yeah,
But,
the Devil May Cry side-scrolling game.
Yeah, because I remember hearing at one point Hideki Kamiya wanted to try making a Bayonetta game for the 3DS that starred Jean. And I don't know how it would have been played out, but I wouldn't be surprised given the nature of the console. They probably could have tried a side-scroller.
They probably
And
could have.
actually, what I was about to say, because I just remembered, wait, we already did have a side-scrolling Devil May Cry game. It was called Beautiful Joe.
That's true. that is kind of true, yeah.
That is true, yeah. Oh yeah, how was that Pikmin game on the...
Hi.
Oh, shit.
Well, basically,
A boss.
yeah, False Knight. To answer your question, Logan, the basic consistence I've heard is that it's a fine game, but it's not a Pikmin game.
It's not
Okay.
Pikmin 4, so that's all you really need to know.
Okay.
Also, it was made
so-
by the same people that made Yoshi's New Island, so take that for what it's worth.
I thought it was made by the same people that made
Aha.
that one
Oh, hi.
Chibi Robo game.
A little grub thingy is controlling the night.
And,
The night
so
armor.
that's why
That's
it's a
why
false knight.
I was gonna say.
Oh, now it's pulling a temper tantrum. Oh, I did not know you could actually slash the
Whoop.
Rocks
cover
at
the,
yep.
the rocks at it.
I'm assuming you fought this guy so far on your playthrough on the Switch?
I did. I actually got. I got fairly far into it, but not like. I want to say I'm roughly at the halfway point. Maybe a little
Oh, yeah,
sooner than that.
yeah, we can-
ice cream. I want my ice cream.
we can mention that, as of recording this part, we've since watched the E3 presentation and the stuff they're showing off for Silk Song. The sequel looks pretty promising.
Oh, that's right. This is getting a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember,
What we mean-
it
what
was
we
originally
mean-
just going to be DLC.
We'll be meeting the star of that. We'll actually be meeting the star of that DLC later on in this video.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Whoops!
he did himself in.
Well, this is awkward.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
Get out of there, fatty.
And again, this orange stuff is some corruption or whatever. And oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Oh, look
wow.
at that
Oh.
little buddy.
Inspect
Huh.
Man, just reminds me of the bigger doggo. Or
Well,
greater
any-
dog.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah, that's...
Not as cute.
Well, anyway, if it means anything, Logan, I'm already familiar with the game's proper end goal by now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll be getting to that much later. But
Would you
it's
say
like,
by the time you discover that, that's pretty much around the halfway point?
I'd say the halfway point. Yeah, there are some things there's definitely a lot that can be done to achieve the game's true ending. If you're not going for any other additional DLC stuff, but yeah, I think by the time you learn about the true goal, that's at least a good that's the halfway point. Then you learn about what you need to be doing, what you need to be the three main MacGuffins you're after.
Right. Yeah, I know that by now. So okay.
Yeah, that's about the halfway point, I think.
I should probably get back to finishing this game up soon. 'Cause
How-
There's just been way too much shit that's been releasing.
I need to
me
actually
from
play
meetings.
it.
That's Snail Shaman. Again, it is available on Switch and PC. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess... So, I knew a lot about playing the game because I watched some people play it. I practiced a lot before this recording stuff. So, how is it like? What's the experience like James, when you're playing it kind of blind and just kind of exploring at your own pace?
It's weird for me to it's weird for me to explain. It's like it seems relatively chill and all that until you start reaching some of the mooks that hit you harder.
Spell. Oh yeah, then you gotta be really on your guard. And when from this
And-
little
and-
snail,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Ooh.
Well, anyway, as I was about to say, vengeful
So we-
spirit.
we've learned a spell which allows us to fire a projectile forward.
Yep,
Yay.
but unfortunately, much like healing, it also takes up soul power.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
Which, by the way, as far as my own experiences are concerned, yeah, lots of healing was done.
But that is totally fine. I apologize. I should have warned you about the power of that spell. I seem to have slipped away. Yeah, he was asleep. But yeah. So these snail shamans, these shadowy like black figures, they are comprised of that essence called soul or whatever, and yeah, they can usually teach us some powerful magic that will be very good for offensive capabilities. So he's saying that we need to go into his little home here and get rid of some beastie that's been kind of hanging out. It's actually a really small, like, mini dungeon area. It's fine, and it's perfect because we need the spell to move on to the next area of the game we're heading towards.
Yeah, so we're totally just going through with this errand that he totally didn't just push us into.
Okay, yeah. Can we trick you? I mean,
Ask you for your assistance.
I think it was Game Grumps were playing Sunshine, and Danny was like, he was trying to think of a more obvious like joke, but he's like, there's nothing more obvious than what he just said. Can we trick? I mean, ask you.
Yeah,
I'd love to have you over for murder.
That hotel manager was a piece of shit.
You know what?
Really
Just
was.
for some reason, I'm just reminded back to that one Jim Henson special where it's basically almost all of his IPs crossing over for like a Christmas special. And it's like
yeah.
with the Bird and Nerdy, they're talking about like numbers and whatnot. It's like, well, wait, are we like doing math or something? Where we come from, this is small talk.
Yeah.
when they're just learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually love that premise of like where they come from. Educational lessons is just how they break the ice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually love that idea. As
Well,
like,
hey, so long as it keeps the community smiling.
Well,
it
definitely.
is fun. It is fun, and from what I heard, there actually are a lot more like international Jim Henson things than I thought. Like they have like original things in Europe. They have a bunch of stuff in Spain, I think, from what I'd heard.
And they have like a bunch of original stuff that even Logan didn't know about. Like I think I surprised both him and James when I brought to them the existence of Dog City.
right. I didn't know.
Yeah,
about Dog City.
that's something I've never heard of.
Granted, I was also someone who was like way too young for a lot of this stuff. I didn't even know about Read Between the Lions.
I knew
Oh,
of that.
that
I
I
just didn't watch a
remember.
whole lot of it.
I
But I guess
It's just
remember.
such a long.
I remember
Yeah.
Between the Lions.
Yeah, it was a cute
It
show.
was. Yeah, it was on PBS. I didn't watch much of it. I just remember catching it a couple times.
Oh yeah, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we just turned 30.
Yes,
Hooray!
I turned
Happy
the big
birthday.
3-0 a couple days
Happy
ago.
birthday!
You know what that means,
God.
Allie?
What?
You get 30 hugs.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, these guys.
By
were
this guy.
obnoxious.
Whoa.
This
yeah.
guy, unfortunately, we put out an ad for the birthday hugger, and unfortunately, this guy's the only one who signed up.
I was gonna give him to her, but I guess if you don't want me to.
No, just this big buggy. Oh, okay, he's done.
Oh.
Okay,
He,
you may,
There
he's
you are.
done.
okay, you may give him to her now, hype. But we've just had a recent opening.
Okay. Anyway, what I was about to say is, unless something important is about to be... Oh,
Nah, we're just gonna. She's just gonna let us out. Go ahead, hype.
I was about to say, if there was something important that was going to come up, I was actually going to ask if you wouldn't mind me indulging you in the histories of Dog City.
Go ahead.
So basically, it originally started off as like this separate short that Jim Henson did, and apparently it was a pretty well-renowned short. Like I think it won an award or two. And so basically, years later, well, not like a whole lot of years later, but later they repurposed the puppets that they used for that for a different show called Dog City. And the premise for the show is basically there's this dog animator who he's an animator for this cartoon that's basically like this detective dog. It's supposed to be like noir stuff. And you would have like adventures inside the cartoon world, and like the main character of that show would also interact with the artist, and it would kind of like go back and forth between the cartoon world and like the animator's civilian world and whatnot.
By the way, they're all dogs. Like the animator's a dog as well.
Well, they're all
and the-
they're all dogs. There are a few cats, but it's predominantly dogs.
Oh,
Gotcha.
so we're basically in in prairie.
That
Oh,
too. Also that it looks like Cornifer. So you can find Cornifer, and you can buy the map directly from him. Or if you don't have enough geo at the time, then what happens is that he will leave. But you can always buy the map from the map store that's up back in Dirtmouth, the town at the top of this place.
Yep.
And whenever
hello.
we find,
Ooh.
whenever we save the Grubbies, the Grub Father here will give us rewards.
Oh, I
and
see.
The Grub Father. Wow.
Think of this like the Skulltulas from Ocarina of Time, basically.
Basically, yes.
Alright.
And boy, howdy does this guy reward you handsomely.
Oh, you'll get crazy. Back to you, Hype.
Just the Grub Father, I wanted to make a joke real quick.
You come to me on the day of my grub daughter's wedding.
To ask and now tell me, why do you want me to destroy? Click the end.
Papanada.
Come to
Oh,
my
and
lab,
that-
have you? It's really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise! He's headed down below.
Oh yeah,
This is
here's
Cornifer's
Cornifer's
wife.
wife.
He'll pop
Yeah.
back up eventually to deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here.
Sorry.
Let's see what we have to sell.
So
So
yeah,
she's-
she pretty much sells you all sorts of stuff that can pretty much be added to your map, especially the ability to actually auto update your map.
Right, and these pins are so that compass thing is important because that'll allow us to see where we are in the map. The quill is super important because that allows us to update the map for any new rooms we visited that Cornifer didn't already find. And all the other pins are just like you have to basically buy your map legend that tells you where things are on it unless you memorize it.
The good thing is that a good chunk of those pins are not like actual badges that you need to equip. They all just get added onto the map, with the exception of the what was it called, the one that basically
compass
tracks your position. Yeah, the compass.
Yeah,
pin. That's a pin you need to equip, and I'm not quite a fan of that.
But so I'll probably be keeping that like equipped for as long as I
mighty
can.
sit.
Yeah, I'll be keeping just whoosh. It's like, please stop doing that. It hurts my eyes. So we got the compass pin, and that other pin I got increases the amount of magic I gain when I attack enemies. So pretty good if I'm going to be spending a lot of magic. So now if I go over here where all this grassy stuff is, we can head to our next area of the game. Travelers of Hallownest descend through the verdant wilds and fungal groves to the city of the Kingdom Heart. There all wishes shall be granted. Not that, Pilgrim.
Uh-huh.
And yep, so we're going to be heading on our way to Green Path, and that's why we need to get the spell, because whenever you get close to this boulder thingy, it would always lock up, so you need a spell to stop it.
I just realized these guys are essentially the Flark, no smash me rock things from Shantae Risky's Revenge.
Actually,
Yeah.
what I was thinking was the giant derpy Koopas from Superstar Saga.
Oh yeah,
Those two.
those.
Oh, yeah.
You can't stop me. So, yeah,
You
welcome
can't
to
push
Green
me.
Me? Maybe.
So yeah, welcome to Green Path, and once again, just gonna say,
This is pretty.
soundtrack for this game is beyond gorgeous.
Oh,
Please
yeah,
give
it's
it a
great.
listen.
Has the person done any other particular soundtracks?
Well, he's doing Silk Song, I know that much.
Well, oh yeah, now with this place, now we're going to be introduced to a lot of enemies that have a desperation attack.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
all.
wanna-
fun.
Yeah, the corruption's gonna get really crazy on these mushroom fellows. Just be
Now I'm
very
having
careful.
now I'm having flashbacks to Owl Boy.
Oh boy. So yeah,
That's,
so the
that's a
guy.
game you got to get around to playing sooner or later.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
so the-
Eventually.
actually finished that one 100%.
Yay! How much of a pain was it?
It was some parts of it were a pain.
From what I remember playing, some of the stuff you can do in that game does feel borderline guy dang it. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah.
Like
Okay.
It's too bad.
I don't know if anyone's I don't know how many of us have played this far, but there is an area where you have to complete a flying challenge. Just by tilting the control stick in such a way to kind of steer yourself through tunnels, and if you hit a wall once, you have to start all over, and it's a long course.
Oh yeah, with the cannon. That part
imagine.
sucks. Anyway, who was that odd figure?
Oop!
And why can't we
know,
reach her yet?
Yeah, because we still suck at platforming. This is what I'm gonna say. Comparing to how well platforming I can be at the end of this game to now, it always is hard coming back to this game because I'm like, I'm so slow right now. But
You know
'cause,
what?
yeah,
I
some
think-
of the upgrades you do get in this game do really boost your mobility big time.
You know what? I'm not gonna blame you, Logan. That's part of the reason why I have a harder time playing Arkham Asylum compared to Arkham City.
Yeah. So and again, it's the only die. It's again one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest issues between comparing Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh.
Okay. So anyway, so yeah, the composer for this game is Christopher Larkin. He's returning for Silksong, of course. He's done a couple indie games like Outfolded. Apparently, he was the composer for a children's show or a children's series called Figaro Foe and the New Adventures of Figaro Foe. It was some CG animated children's show.
I recognize those papers.
Yep. Whenever you see those
is that
papers,
from our
yep.
map maker? Oh.
Yep. Yep, that would be Cornifer.
Cornifer.
See,
Hey,
There he
Cornifer.
is.
it's a contrast from the crossroads. Such a humid, lively place. Roads twist and turn in the most wondrous ways. Wonderful ways. Sorry.
And for future reference, folks, we honestly don't really care who's voicing who. It's just something we're just doing as we go.
Yeah.
There's a couple characters that are really cool, and there's a couple line deliveries I enjoy, but otherwise, it's kind of like the Dark Souls thing, where you really don't need a lot of this dialogue to understand the game, but it's a lot of flavor text, and there's a lot to like. Again, I think this game handles things similarly. This game is similar to Dark Souls in the sense of like, there is a decent story there, but if you really want to get the full length of the story, you're gonna have to explore for it.
Yee.
Get out of here, man. But yeah, if you want the full extent of the story, you gotta search for it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the hidden story of this game is really impressive.
I know
about-
Dark Souls. I know Dark Souls is the better comparison, but just talk about like you gotta go out of your way to find the story of this game. So it's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just like, except unlike Breath of the Wild, not all of the interesting stuff has happened before you arrive.
So
Some interesting stuff still happens in this game.
I still
You
feel
know
bad
what?
though, because I still appreciate the adventure we went through in the game proper. It's just that some of the stuff you see in the memories, it's like, God damn it, why aren't I playing in that timeline?
also
Yeah.
you say that Logan about how like nothing interesting happens. Every side of the
God!
canon. Never mind.
This guy's special.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you a hunter like me?
This is the hunter, as you imagined.
Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first, the text that may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words.
Is this guy a
This-
spider?
Venture
He
the
kind
depths
of-
of this land and slay its beasts. Prepare yourself worthy to bear the mark of the hunter.
Spits it out. If you 100% complete his journal, he reveals himself. He looks more like a humanoid, shadowy figure thingy. But yeah, this is the hunter, and basically he has given us the equivalent of our bestiary,
Pretty much.
Oh, I
and
see.
and we can record all the things we've killed. And as you see on the right, if you defeat a certain number of them, we'll unlock a special, a special sort of like flavor text about the hunter talking about them. And if you obtain if you 100% all of the entries, you will get some like mark of the hunter like award or something. It's,
You know
it's
what?
like an achievement,
It's an
basically.
achievement.
I didn't get a good look at it, but why do I get the feeling that like the hunter's flavor text for all of it is basically just ways how to cook the double name things?
In
It
some
pretty
ways,
much
it kind of
is.
does feel like that.
It pretty much is. Like, again, he is someone who savors the hunt. Like, at one point, like, you meet, like, a very pathetic being, and his dialogue for him is, like, hardly worth the effort.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But but the whole cooking thing's a reference to Pikmin 2 for those that didn't catch on.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Hey.
Fucking Louie.
Oh, Louie. Louie's fun. Yeah, so in order to move...
Louie's an asshole in every.
Oh,
hey,
hello
hey!
there.
Oh boy,
Yeah, she went
that
on
was
ahead.
rude.
Sheesh.
Dang it!
Gone ahead.
I always have I always have that impression on women.
All the time they flee. No, they don't flee.
It's like I try to go out, but the second they say hi, they're like, "What am I doing with my life?" And
They're just gone.
You panic. Also,
I
be
meant, like,
careful of
heat
traps.
I mean, granted, it doesn't help too that I'm literally just a man in a child's body.
Get that.
is
That.
that joke or canon?
It's a joke.
No,
I don't-
it's a
I
joke.
honest-
It's a joke.
Yeah, I don't think this kid's literally a full-grown adult.
Honestly, age is so hard to, like, define in this world.
It is.
Yeah.
It really fucking is.
They're bugs. For all we know, the ancient like civil. By the way, those things. By the way, the one thing I hate about this game, you know what these things are called?
What?
Ambushes.
Yeah, this game has its fun with its naming scheme sometimes.
Puns. We need to hate it immediately.
One more attack should do it, and die.
Don't.
There you go.
So, I would love if like the whole ancient history of this land. It's like we have waited for so long and have learned the history of the world. Meanwhile, we later learned that all this just happened in the past 4 hours. But to them, it felt like an eternity.
Yeah, to a bug, it would feel like that.
You're back again?
No worries. I'm back here. Ow!
Ow!
Gotta be careful of acid. We don't like acid. Yeah,
God,
we'll follow her.
I can't be the only one that feels that whenever I see the bubbling acid down there, I'm just suddenly in the mood for some Sprite or something.
It does look like that. Our Mountain Dew definitely has the Mountain Dew hue.
It looks like it's its own soda, but on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're not quite through with this moss infested cesspit. Stay tuned next part as we find out the true identity of that lady that keeps on running away from us. Maybe it's our BO.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye, guys.